We are back with some Madden 23 legacy content, and today is a little bit different than the usual. I want to do this more in Madden 23 where we go over, not just my team, but everyone's team in the online league. There's 31 other people here, and there's a lot of good users, a lot of talent in the league. So I want to cover kind of more of the league as a whole this Madden, upcoming Madden, so you guys can get a good look at all the players. We're on Madden 22 now, just so we can have a graphic that you can look at while I'm talking. So don't really worry about all these numbers. Obviously, the team ratings are completely different this Madden than they are in Madden 23. So don't even worry about this. This is just strictly so you guys can look at something while I talk. Hopefully, the face cam should be better than last video. Last video was bad. So we're going to start off with our division and just break down each division and just talk about who I think is going to be, winning the division, how I think it's going to work, and just, gear up for Madden 23 because it is right around the corner. We are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. If you see me whipping my head back and forth, it's because I got all the names pulled up so you remember a lot of people switch teams, so now I can see, who's on whose team. So we're starting with my division. Obviously, we are the Houston Texans. Last Madden, we were the Seahawks. We won every single division but one. Madden before that, we were the Colts, which we won every single division, or every single year we won the division. This Madden, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Obviously, I would love that to be the case. We're going to try to win as much as we can, but the Texans roster is not the best, and the Titans is a very solid user. I want to say last Madden, it's the same Titans user as last Madden. I want to say he made the playoffs every single year, and I think the farthest he went was either divisional or championship round. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was one of those, and he was just a constant playoff contender. I think I played him twice last Madden. We had some really close games when I was the Seahawks. So that's going to be a very tough opponent, probably one of my hardest opponents that I have to play consistently. So it's going to be tough. It might be the Titans or Colts division, year 1 and 2 while we can develop. But after that, this Texans team is going to be a monster. I'm calling it, man. They're going to be absolutely vicious out there. Heading into the Colts, we got NGA Nightmare. That is the Rams user from last Madden, so we played him a lot. And one thing with the Rams last Madden that pissed me off to the freaking nth degree is I could not stop the run. For some reason, Cam Akers was putting 150 a game on my head, and I just could not stop him. And then what does he do? He goes out and gets the Colts with Jonathan Taylor and that offensive line. So, if it's the same thing as last Madden, he's going to run all over me, and I'm going to be freaking out because I can't stop it. And it makes no sense because I'm usually pretty good at stopping the run, but for some reason, I just could not stop the run against him. And it's a little scary seeing him with the Colts, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be interesting to see what he does because if we go like 6 seasons in, Matt Ryan's not the quarterback, the whole cycle. He's going to have to find a new quarterback. He's going to have to find someone else. I'm assuming Tennessee, he might roll out Malik Willis year 1 and just use him the whole way. That's probably what I would do if I were him. But, who knows? Maybe he keeps Tannehill and then pulls out Malik Willis year 2 or 3 or something. But the Colts, he's definitely going to have a new quarterback at some point. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. But Jonathan, I won't even lie. Jonathan Taylor in his hands is a little worrying because he did damage against me with Cam Akers. So Jonathan Taylor could be a little worrying. And the last team on the list is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the user is King Key. He's a new user. I don't think he even played in any of our leagues last Madden, so he's a brand new user. I don't know much about him, so he's kind of a wild card. He's a mystery. If he is any good, if this man is just like an either average at like the worst, if he's just average or just a little bit above average and has some talent, this division could be extremely hard with the Titans already making the playoffs last Madden every single year. NGA Nightmare made the playoffs with the Rams, I want to say 2 or 3 seasons, and he beat me actually, I think twice, 2 or 3 times, so he has beaten me, and we had a lot of close games. And if the Jags user is good and he can get Trevor Lawrence devved up, that could be scary. And this could be a very, very tough division. It could be back to Madden 20 days, if you remember the online league back then when we were the Giants. And it was basically anyone's division every year. It was I won in a couple years. I think Philly won in a year. I think even the Redskins won in a year when they were called the Redskins. And then I think even Dallas won in a year. Like, it was just like every year was a different team winning the division. which is fun. It's exciting that way. So this division could be very, very tough, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Baltimore Ravens. This has always been Trey's team. Trey, if you guys have been watching for a while, is probably the best Madden user that we had in our league. Just last Madden, he won every single Super Bowl but one. And the one he didn't win was the one I won, and the one where he really didn't play that much that season. He had a lot of family stuff going on. He had a baby. Well, he didn't have the baby, but you know, and so he was dealing with that, and so he's not going to be in this Madden. The Trey is no longer in this league anymore. He's taking some time. I think he's working night shift now or something, so he's got to get all adjusted to all that stuff. I would assume he'd be back at some point. Don't know when. It probably will be with a different team whenever it happens. Maybe it's next Madden. In Madden 24, I have no idea. He'll be back at some point. I would hope so. But there is no Trey this Madden. So the Baltimore Ravens is belonging to Sully. He was the Jacksonville Jaguars user last Madden. And Sully, I think people are sleeping on. He didn't really make much noise last Madden. But in Madden 20, when he was the Lions, he was a monster. He made the playoffs a lot. Took a break in Madden 21. And then came back, I want to say, halfway through Madden 22, came back, and didn't really do much. The Jags just couldn't quite get it rolling, but solely with the Ravens could be scary because he was kind of a beast with the Lions. He beat me back in Madden 20. I want to say he killed me one game. I think he beat me by like 30 or something. I know for a fact he smacked me one time in Madden 20 or Madden 21. Sorry, not Madden 20. So solely, people are sleeping on him, and you could be trash at this game and still be, you know, God tier with the Ravens with Lamar. So I mean, you really don't gotta be, no knock on Sully, but you could be terrible at this game and still be good with the Ravens just because Lamar is just so crazy. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this division plays out. This is another tough division. The AFC in general is stacked. I'm not even lying. The NFC is much easier. The AFC is just absolutely stacked. It's kind of like real life. AFC is stacked in real life while the NFC is kind of really top heavy and then it falls off tremendously. AFC stacked, man. The AFC is stacked. So maybe the NFC can bring home a couple of Super Bowls. We'll see. But I think the AFC is much harder than the NFC this upcoming Madden. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, which is Stanton Drums. He was the Carolina Panthers user last Madden, which you all know him very well. We played him a lot. Played him in the NFC Championship, I think, twice. Beat him once, lost to him once. I think he knocked me out in the divisional round last Madden as well. A lot of close games with him. He's a very, very good passing user. So the fact that he has Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, you know, Joe Mixon, that's just, I mean, that team's going to be stacked. He's going to make that team to absolute monsters. It's going to be a stacked roster. The Cleveland Browns is a new user named Rusty. Another guy, I don't know much about him, so we'll be interested to see how he plays. I won't even lie. I just hope he's not the best year one. That's what I'm hoping for because we do have his first round draft pick. I would love a top 10 pick or something. That would be absolutely ideal for the Texans because we need firepower. That team is just buns right now. So don't know much about the Cleveland Browns. We'll have to skip over that. And the Steelers remains the same Steelers user as last Madden in death. Another solid user. I think it'll be, I just got to leave the Browns out of the conversation for now because I don't know much about him. But between the Bengals, Ravens, and the Steelers, it's such a good division. I think it's going to be really tight race between, you know, once Sully gets rolling, he's going to be a force with the Ravens. Stanton Drums is a monster already, so he's going to be good at the Bengals. And if Death can figure out what's his Kenny Pickett, wherever they drafted, if he could figure him out and Najee and get those receivers going, he's going to be a solid. Are they really a 74 overall on Madden 22? That's crazy. I'm not sure if they are Madden 23, but that's kind of disappointing that. I'm just looking at the quarterbacks. Oh, that's okay. That makes more sense now. That makes more sense. But it's going to be a really fun division. I think it's a three-headed race between Pittsburgh, Cincy, and Baltimore. Maybe Cleveland can surprise me. Like I said, I don't know much about him, so maybe he's just an absolute monster. He's got good weapons. Amari, Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. The defense is amazing, so he can make some noise with that team. That's going to be another really tough division. Moving to the AFC East. This one I won't be able to talk about as much because I just don't know much about the users. There's 2 brand new users. The Dolphins have a new user in FC Flyer, and the Patriots have a new user in Elvis. So I know completely nothing about these people. They're going to have their work cut out for him. In Dolos, he remains the Buffalo Bills. That's the same user we played in the Super Bowl in the final season, which he almost beat me. I mean, if he gets that 2-point conversion at the end of the 4th quarter, he beats me and I lose, and we don't win a Super Bowl last Madden. So that was a very close game. Dolos is going to be, if I don't know much, like I said, about the Dolphins and the Patriots, but I think this is Dolos' division to lose. I think he's going to really have his way. I know the Miami Dolphins got Tua, they got Tyreek Hill, they got some weapons. The Patriots are getting, I guess they're getting there. The Jets are a little rough, but they got a lot of young pieces. But I think this is Dolos' division to lose. I think he's going to just be an absolute force. The Bills team's just stacked, man. They're stacked at every position. I mean, they really are. So it's going to be tough to take him down. The Jets is Cody, who was, I think he was the Bengals user last Madden for a little bit. Not too familiar with him. I don't think I even played him last Madden. But, so I don't really know much about those 3 teams. I know Cody was here. I just don't really know much about him. So I think this is Dolos' division to lose. He'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised if I see him. I'm just being honest. I know some people from the league might watch this, but I'm just being honest. I wouldn't be surprised if Dolos just wins the division every year and just cakewalks his way to, division win every single season. I wouldn't be honest. But maybe the new guys can surprise me. I hope so. That'd be nice for the competition, but the Bills team with Dolos is just stacked. And moving to our final AFC division, we got the AFC West. Another good division. Starting off with the Chiefs. It is the same user as last year. Cool Breeze. Very solid user. We've had some very close games with him. He's beat me a lot for some reason. I've struggled against him. I think actually last Madden was the first time I even beat him. Because we don't really play that much, because usually just how the schedule rolls out, we don't really play that much. And if I'm an NFC team, he's the Chiefs, so we only can meet in the Super Bowl if we don't play in the season. So we don't play often, but last season was tough. If you remember last season, we had that crazy overtime game where I won on the first play of overtime with a bomb to DK to beat him after coming back down, I think, 14 with like 3 minutes left. So the Chiefs in his hands are going to be insane. It's going to be interesting to see how he does with no Tyreek Hill, though. Obviously, they got the rookie that they drafted. They got Mecole still there. That Deb's pretty good in Madden. He got Clyde pretty good, last Madden. Maybe MVS, maybe it's MVS or maybe it's Juju that he uses pretty good. I have no idea the route he's going to roll with his team, but it's going to be interesting to see how he does with no Tyreek Hill. The Chargers also remain the same user. I think he changed his gamer tag because on the picture I got, his name is Got Game. It was Grimy, but now it says Got Game, so maybe I'm pretty sure it's the same user, just changed names. Another very good user. He made the playoffs quite a bit with the Chargers, and that Chargers team is just so fun on Madden. I mean, you got Keenan, you got Mike Williams, you got Justin Herbert, you got Gerald Everett's there now, solid receiving tight end. You got Austin Eckler, very, very good running back. So, and the defense, you got Bosa. I mean, you got Derwin James, you got Beast on the defense. So it's a very good team on Madden, and he's going to be a very good user as well. The Raiders remain the same user. Cookie stays on the Raiders, and I'm gonna be honest, man, he needs to do some damage. We're keeping it real over here, and Cookie, if you're watching this, man, you gotta do something this Madden, dude. Your team is ready to do something. Maybe you draft a quarterback, maybe you don't believe in Derek Carr, but you got Devontae Adams. Josh Jacobs is pretty good in Madden. Okay, I've seen what Lampard's done with Josh Jacobs. He's done a lot with Josh Jacobs. And you got solid pieces. You got Darren Waller, solid. I mean, I'm trying to see some playoff pushes. And last but not least, the Broncos. I want to say it's the same Broncos user as last Madden. I didn't really play the Broncos. I don't think I played the Broncos at all last Madden, so I don't know. I'm not even trying to pronounce his name because his name's crazy over here on the document, so I'm not even trying to pronounce it, but it's going to be fun. I think this division is going to be another good one. Like I said, the AFC is tough. The AFC is tough. I think this one, if for the most part, is going to be between Chiefs and Kansas, or the Chiefs and the Chargers. Cookie, I would love to see you, do something and try to compete with these dudes. I want to see some Raiders action in the playoffs, and maybe the Broncos surprise me. Russell Wilson over there, maybe Russ can help lead them the way. But I think if we're being honest, I think for the most part it's Chiefs or Chargers division here. I would love to be proved wrong, but for heading into the season, I think it's Chiefs or Chargers division. Headed over to the NFC side, we're starting with the NFC North, and the Green Bay Packers remain the same user, the Darude. He is staying as the Packers. Didn't really have the best season last Madden. I don't know if he made the playoffs at all. I do know he made, I think it was Madden 22, or Madden 21, excuse me. He did make it far in the playoffs, and he either made the NFC Championship or he made the Super Bowl. I can't remember. He did make it at some point in that Madden, but this Madden 22 was not the best for him. Aaron Rodgers is getting up there in age. He's still going to be a beast for a while. Does he roll out Jordan Love? He has no Devontae Adams anymore, so he's gone. I mean, no Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones, does he re-sign Aaron Jones, or does he roll out just A.J. Dillon? There's a lot of question marks with the Packers and how he's going to build this team. I mean, we'll have to find out and see. Maybe he just starts Jordan Love year one and just rolls him out and just says, all right, let's go for it, and just get rid of Aaron Rodgers. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. The Minnesota Vikings is Elliott. He was in the league, I think it was Madden 21. It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. I don't think he was in the league last Madden, but solid user. And I think, honestly, he might be the front runner at this time for winning the division. I love the Vikings team, even in real life. I mean, the Vikings in real life, I think, might even win this division just because of how the Packers have no Devontae Adams now. They got all these rookies. How is it going to work out? I think the Vikings, even in real life, got a good chance at winning the division, and I think this is the front runner for this division. I mean, over time, the Lions and the Bears, as they get some better pieces on its squad, can compete for it. But I think Elliott and the Vikings is, year 1 and 2, he should be competing for that division and winning it, honestly. He really should. And then after that, it's anyone's game. Anyone can get the job done. The Chicago Bears is C.D. Tino. He was the Saints last Madden, pretty good user. I think he made the playoffs a few times as well, but I just don't think, no knock on him, I just don't think the Bears roster is ready right now. Their offensive line has issues. The wide receiver group is a problem. I mean, they got Mooney. They got the rookie they drafted who's got really good speed. He's got like 94 speed in Madden 23. They got David Montgomery, who's solid, but other than that, I mean, the offensive line is rough. Defensive line's not the best either. The linebackers are okay. So, I mean, it's a little rough, man. The Bears roster is a little rough, and same thing with the Lions. I mean, they need some time to develop. They need a quarterback. I mean, I don't think he's going to be rolling Jared Goff out there every single season. I think he's going to be trying to find someone. They got, they drafted Jameson Williams. I want to say that's his name in the first round. Wide receiver, he'll play really good. T.J. Hawkinson's there. DeAndre Swift's there. So they got good pieces, but they need a quarterback. Need some help on the defensive side. The Detroit Lions is Potato Boy. He was the Giants last Madden, so he switches over to the Detroit Lions. Interesting division. Like I said, I think the Vikings are the front runner, season 1 and 2, but after that, I could see anyone winning this division. Moving over to the NFC South. Another good division. This is another one where really anyone could win this one. Starting with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it is no longer Mayer. He was in both leagues that we do, but he switched just to one. I don't think he wanted to do 2 leagues anymore, so he's in the other one now. So Mayer is no longer in the league, and we have Bramello, who I believe is another new user. Don't know much about him, but I mean, the Bucs on paper, this team's stacked. You got Tom Brady, you got Julio Jones now, you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, you got Leonard Fournette. They're win now mode. You got to try to compete as quick as you can, and then it's going to be a quick rebuild. Julio probably out the door. Tom's probably going to be out the door in a couple years, and so we'll have to replace those guys. But the Bucs are in a good spot to win now, so Bramello coming in, he can make some noise if he really wanted to. The Atlanta Falcons is Terps. This is the dude that I know in real life that we always have close games with and always are beefing with. He was the football team or Commanders or Reds, whatever. I mean, whatever their team was called last Madden, that was him. He switches over to the Atlanta Falcons. This team can be scary. If he can really develop and lock in this team, he could be very scary as this team. Desmond Ritter's could be very scary. Kyle Pitts is already very scary. Drake London could be scary. So he has pieces, but he has to develop him. That's what he choked last Madden. He drafted like a first-round quarterback 3 separate seasons, so he needs to lock in and really focus and develop his guys, and he can become a force to reckon with. The New Orleans Saints is a new user in Thizlam. Don't know much about him. Another new guy. The Saints, very good defense. They got solid receivers. You know, maybe he can make Michael Thomas back to his prime. He got Alvin Kamara, but Jameis Winston, that quarterback, probably going to have to figure out a new quarterback at some point in time. And the last is the Carolina Panthers, and that is Stank Pit. If you remember him, he was the Patriots last Madden. Then he left to run our MLB league, but he is back. And Stank Pit's a beast, man. Stank Pit, I think, did make a Super Bowl either last Madden or 2 years ago. Madden 21, he made a Super Bowl. So Stank Pit is a beast. This could be anyone's division, any season, I think. I think this could be up for grabs for anyone. It could be Stank Pit. It could be Terps if he figures out and really, locks in, develops his players. It could be the Bucks, and because that team is just loaded. That team is stacked. And the Saints, I mean, if he's a good user too, that defense is a problem. So I think this is anyone's division. It's going to be very, very tight, and I'm interested to see how it plays out. Next, we have the NFC East. A couple familiar faces here. Dallas Cowboys remains superstar. Very good user. Very good squad. So, he's back at it with his squad. The Philadelphia Eagles remains the same. It's B-Dub. He's still rocking with his Eagles. Very good user. Very good squad now. They got Jordan Davis, defensive tackle. I think that's his name. A.J. Brown just got traded, so it's going to be interesting to see what those two do. They're like vets now. These guys been on these teams for like 4 or 5 years straight. They are just they're riding with their squad forever. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do this year, this Madden. The football team is Calc. He was the Falcons last Madden. Calc gets his favorite team in the football team. Very interested to see what he does. I don't think he's a big Carson Wentz fan, so does he roll out the quarter? I'm blanking on his name. I want to say it was, I can't remember, honestly, off the top of my head, what the rookie quarterback they drafted. Does he roll out him? Maybe he sticks with Carson Wentz and drafts his guy in season 2. I'm really not too sure. I know he's really happy that Terry McLaurin got signed. I do know that. I do know he is very, very happy that McLaurin's locked up. But going to be interesting to see who he rolls out with at quarterback for, year 1. And the New York Giants is another new user in Phil03. Don't know much about him, but I do know he's going to have to bring his game face because these 3 users are no slouches. Superstar was a monster with Zeke. I remember playing him last Madden, and Zeke had like 200 rushing yards on me. Zeke was just killing me. B-Dub's no slouch either. Me and him had a lot of good games. He beat me a lot in Madden 21. I got the best of him in Madden 22, but Madden 21 and Madden 20, he beat me quite a bit. And then Calc, he's got his favorite team. He's going to have that boost. I had it last Madden. I had my favorite squad with the Seahawks, so I was really trying to, get some dubs with them and make things happen. So he's got his favorite squad. I know he's going to try to make some noise for them. Very interesting division. Like I said, the NFC is just, any of these divisions are up for grabs. I don't think it's, one guy standing out over everyone. I think any of these divisions can be up for grabs. So we'll see how it plays out. And in our final division, we have the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks are manned by Yul Brenner. He was the Texans user last Madden. He has my Seahawks now, obviously, because we did a little swap ski. So I took over the Texans just for one Madden, and he's a Texans fan in real life, but I somehow was able to convince him to get the Texans for just one Madden. And then in Madden 24, we're going to swap back, and then I'll pick a different team, but then he can get his Texans back. So Yul Brenner gets the Seattle Seahawks. Blasian stays on the Arizona Cardinals. He made the Super Bowl year 3 or 4. Whatever year he won the division is the year he made to the Super Bowl. Very good user. The Cardinals is a very good team. D-Hop, Marquise Brown's here now. Kyler Murray's here. I mean, there's a lot of speed on this team, so very, very good user there. He remains on the Cardinals. The Rams is now fit. He switches over from the Colts. He was the Colts last Madden. Another very good user, very solid user. The Colts made the playoffs a handful of times as well, so he's very good offensive user as well, so we'll see how he does with the Rams with all those receivers and Stafford. And then the 49ers remain the same user. Pollock stays on the 49ers. He was kind of up and down last Madden. He had some seasons where it just wasn't going his way, but then he had a couple seasons where he was pushing double-digit wins, and I think he even stuck in the playoffs a year or two. So, like I said, the NFC, every division's up for grabs. It's not like the AFC where, you know, I mean, the AFC's kind of up for grabs all the time. For the most part, that what is it? The Bills division? No, I just think Dulles is just gonna run away with it. Unfortunately, I wish he would have. I hope he has more competition. I hope I'm proven wrong, but I think Dulles just runs away with that one. I think this one could be anyone's game. I think off the rip, if I had to put my money on it, I'd probably put it on Blasian just because he won the division last Madden when I was there. He made it to a Super Bowl. So if I had to put my money on it year one, I think Blasian comes out firing, hungry, trying to push for another Super Bowl. He hasn't got a Super Bowl win yet, but he did get his first appearance there. And it was a close game against Trey. I think he only lost by 10 or something like that, or 12 against Trey. So it was a pretty close game. I think he's going to be hungry. But this can go up to anyone, man. It really can. The Seahawks, Yul Brynner, he's going to have his money worked out for him. I've seen power rankings in real life. Putting my Seahawks at 32, which is just unfortunate, man. I mean, come on. 32 in real life, you really think the Seahawks are going to be the worst in the NFL? I hope not, because that would be pretty disappointing. But I think Blasian starts off hot, and then, over a couple of years, it could be anyone's game. Once Trey Lance gets rolling, I know he's going to rock with Trey Lance. I don't think he'll start Stafford. Fit will start Stafford. Fit usually likes to draft a guy early. That seems to be what he's done. He did the same thing with the Colts, drafted a guy. So I think he'll do the same with the Rams, just draft a guy early and develop him. It's going to be anyone's division. I'm definitely going to be talking more about the league as a whole throughout the season of Madden 23, whether it's, just randomly doing a video talking about, or like if the off season comes, first off season, I'll probably maybe I'll do like a recap of like my favorite draft class that someone had, or my favorite off-season moves or additions to, just talking about stuff. I think it'll make it more interesting, showing you guys the other stuff about the league, not just me. Obviously, I'll have my Texans franchise going all the way, and just doing my thing with that. But I think it'd be fun to break down all the other users as well. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Madden 23 right around the corner, so finally, feels like it's been forever. So it's about damn time it's here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.